Okay, this is the first attempt to finally doing a podcast that I've been wanting to do for a really long time. Um, it's going to be raw, probably uncut because I'm not editing anything right now, but this first actual one is called Don't Talk About It, Be About It. And I keep waiting around to do this thing. I'm trying to make it on Spotify, trying to get everything up. And I'm like, I have no idea what I'm doing, nor do I have the time, nor do I care. So this is going up on YouTube. If you're listening to this right now, you're probably one of my friends, one of my athletes, or somebody who knows me. So I'm not going to do like a massive intro of all of these things. It'll be very, very brief. And then I'm going to go right into why I'm calling this first episode Don't Talk About It, Be About It. I'm calling the podcast I Know Nothing Podcast. It's supposed to be sarcastic. It's supposed to be funny. It's supposed to be fun in general. I think a lot of times in the strength and conditioning world, we're so serious that we're strength and conditioning coaches and we've got to do these specific exercises and you've got to do these drills and blah, 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 blah. I don't take that approach anymore. I definitely used to early on in my career. And in my career right now, I'm at the point where, let's see, I started training when I was 9 years old. And not like, oh, I'm doing drills with a coach. No, I was using weights at 9 years old so that I could play football. I'm 34. That's 25 years of training myself. I've probably missed a day or two a week since that time. That doesn't mean I'm the most jacked human being or anything like that. It just means that I have a ton of experience and a ton of failing in the weight room. On top of that, I've been coaching now, at least paid to be a coach, for the last 12 years. And I'm at the point where I make a joke all the time that I actually have no idea. I know nothing. So the podcast is kind of around this idea of let's just take it easy a little bit. Like, let's not be so serious. Let's be very passionate about these things. And I like to rant and rave. And I'm sure there's some people in my life who are sick and tired of hearing me rant and rave about strength stuff, but it's just all I do. It's what I care about. I don't do anything else. Like, I'm not good at math. I'm not good at English. I'm in the world of strength training for athletes and performance training in all of the things that encompass that. And my hobby is health and wellness. That's it. I don't live in any other world. So I'm using this as a platform in today's world of social media to reach my athletes in a different way, to reach the parents of those athletes, to reach coaches all over, to reach anybody who just is looking to get better a little bit. I'm just using the strength world, and this is my forte of the stuff I care about. And like I said, I know nothing, and that's the point I'm at, and that's the point I'm trying to make. Is like, I know nothing right now. I'm at the point where I'm writing a workout. I'm like, I don't even know. Does this even work? Just to give the people who don't know who I am a very, very brief where I'm coming from. Like I said, I've been training since I've been 9, 25 years of training myself. I still make mistakes. I've done all different styles. I've done different methods of training in terms of performance training. I've done bodybuilding. I've done Olympic weightlifting. I've competed in powerlifting. I've trained as an athlete. And I've done a lot of different things to the point where now I actually do the workouts that my athletes do. From a coaching side of things, I've been a strength coach at the Division I level, the Division II level, the Division III level, and the junior college level, and I've also been the head strength coach at a high school level. I've trained professional athletes. I've had a couple Olympians. I've trained military, law enforcement, fire, big-time people in business. And does that make me know everything? Obviously not. The podcast is called I Know Nothing. I'm just saying that I do have experience with this stuff, and to cut it short right now, I'm just using this podcast to rant and rave about things that I like to talk about. I'm going to bring on our athletes. I'm going to bring on other coaches. I'm going to bring on whoever wants to come on. We're going to have fun with this. And this first episode is based off of the Don't Talk About It, Be About It. I want to get right into something that I'm seeing right now, and I've been seeing for a while, is we just want to maybe it was because of COVID. I don't know, that everyone's like, well, how long should I do the workout? When should I have my protein drink? When do I have to take creatine? I'm like, what? Just work out. I don't care what sport you're in. Like, unless you're high level already. I mean, the primary human I work with is high school and college. Like, that's the primary human I work with. You guys don't need something elaborate. You don't. If you're coming off of an injury, yes, there's got to be rehab protocols in place. You got to progress properly, but like you need to start doing it. And then I have the adult side of things too, where we're so concerned with like, oh, should I do 2 days or 3 days? How about all days? You should be doing all days because you don't have the time to be waiting. Get in the weight room, get outside, grab a kettlebell, do something about it. My job as a strength coach, whatever that even means, is to guide. And like I said, I deal with athletes, but like stop talking about it and just start to be about it. And I try to practice what I preach as best as I can. We don't always do the things that we say we do, but I train the exact workout programs that my athletes do. I do the same exercises. I do the same things. I sprint with my athletes. I'll work out with them once in a while. But the message to you is you got to just start doing it. Like, oh, I don't feel good today. I'm going to take the off day. What? No, you're not. The workout is not about just the workout. The workout is about all of the other things and the habits, right? It's like, I get to use the weight room as a platform where you want to be better on the field, on the court, in your sport. It's not just about coming here and moving a barbell around. It's the habit of it. Like you don't have a choice because let's just call it what it is, folks. Most of you are not that good. You think you are, the world is telling you are, but like you're not that good. Just get over it. Like don't take that as a knock on yourself. It's like you gotta want to be better. And if you don't see that, you have to continually keep showing up. Then whoever your coach is or the people around you, you got to start to ask better questions. Like how can I start to do this thing every day? Training is a part of it, but you gotta wake up and you gotta understand that. Stop talking about it. Just go do it. Then you can ask questions. Start doing it. People want the quick fix all the time with everything, but like we see it, it's like, I want to throw 90. Yeah? Are you busting your butt to do that? Like, are you doing all of the things? Are you doing injury prevention? Are you doing arm care? Are you doing all the throwing stuff you need to be doing? Are you lifting weights? Are you talking to coaches? Are you talking to other athletes? If you're not doing those things, step one is just showing up and start to do those things. Are you eating right? Are you sleeping right? Are you working on breathing, right? Every day you've got to show up so you can keep learning new things and you can continue to get better at your craft. Hopefully that makes sense. And again, just get used to it. I'm going to go on rants. I'm going to go down rabbit holes. I might not even be making sense. You might have already turned the podcast off at this point. Great. Cool. Just some other brief things that just for like the first time episode here's some current events that are going on. And this is maybe specific to parents and coaches where whether you were an athlete or not, or whether you've been coaching for a long time or not, I'm here to tell you, and as a reminder, you better start staying up to date with the world of sports, no matter what level you're at, because it's changing and it's changing fast. And if you're running the same plays that you've been running for the last 50 years and you've never won a playoff game, probably time to change it. If you're still in the weight room doing cleans, deadlifts, squats, and bench press, and you're wondering why kids aren't getting better and their hips and back hurts all the time to wake up. When it comes to sports right now, we're watching 7 and 8 year olds be a single sport athlete, or they're playing 2 sports year round, but they're never developing. And they're wondering why when they get to 16, 17 years old, they're not that good. And they actually end up not even playing in college. So just parents, even athletes and coaches, like think about what you're doing. What is the goal? If you just want to be better in general, great. But if your goal is like you want to be the top of the top, you have to start to develop as an athlete. And you playing year round at 7 and 8 years old could be detrimental later on. You better start having fun and learn how to play, because the best athletes ever are the best at play, and they're the best problem solvers, and they do all the other things. And in today's world, you better stay up to date with what's going on with sports scheduling, with injury rates, all of these things. And even though this is my third point on here, let's just get to it. So I work full-time now alongside PTs, probably some of the best PTs in the state of New York, all under one roof, dealing with athletes, and they're a team. And I get to be part of this team right now. And I observe every single day as I look out here onto the floor and I'm looking at 3 college athletes with arm injuries. We're seeing middle schoolers, high schoolers in and out all day long, all day long, all day long. And we as a society are normalizing this. That's not normal. And going back to the first point, right? Start to think about where you're at right now with your kids or as an athlete. How old are you? How much time and effort are you putting into your sport? And how much overuse are we putting into our sport? So we're confused when we get to a certain level. We're like, oh, hurt my arm again. That's not normal. Be mindful. You want to play at the next level? You got to be healthy. Start to understand the transfer portal and understand what college sports is a professional. This is a professional business now. Okay? You being hurt doesn't work. You better be healthy. And if you're not healthy, you're in big trouble. And if you're if you're in high school right now, you got a better chance of someone who's already been doing this in college and you're having injuries, multiple injuries. Let's just keep it and let's just cut it to this because I don't want this first one to be too long. The weight room. Be up to date with what the weight room means. The weight room's been around forever, okay? Everybody knows how to teach somebody how to do barbell squatting, how to do even cleans, which is a very difficult movement, but like any decent strength coach knows how to do those things. Start to define for your program or for your athlete or for you individually, like, what does the weight room mean to me? How do I want to utilize it? I'm a strength coach, okay? I love the weight room. I have to use weights every day to feel normal. But in today's world, it's not just the bigger, stronger person who's the better athlete. And it sucks because sometimes people don't want to believe that. And they're like, well, I knew this one person and they were the best weight room. Yeah, those are outliers, okay? If you've trained high level athletes, elite athletes, not someone who played at a D1 school for one day, high level performing athletes, rarely are they the best person in the weight room. Use the weight room appropriate to the population in front of you. If you're doing this stuff on your own, understand what the weight room is. Understand what exercises are necessary for you. Understand the theme of how you need to train. Like if you're not fast and all you do is heavy squatting because someone told you that, well, that's how you produce more force. Really? Just think about the common sense of that. If that was the case, powerlifters and Olympic weightlifters who can lift the most weight on planet Earth with a barbell would be the fastest humans. Let me know how much weight the best sprinters in the world squat and clean and deadlift. Yes, of course, they're super powerful in general, so they might be able to lift some heavy weight, but that's irrelevant to you unless you're a high-performing athlete, right? You need to use the weight room specific to you and understand that it's just a piece of the puzzle. You might have your weight room dialed in. Is your nutrition dialed in? Is your sleep dialed in? Is your breathing dialed in? Is your visualization and your psychology dialed in? Is your environment dialed in? The weight room is a piece of it. It's a vital piece, right? And I think sometimes too, depending on what kind of coach you are, we think as a strength coach, like, well, I can't wait to tell you that you're squatting on 50 pounds and that's the reason you got better. Maybe confidence-wise, and depending on the age, but I can tell you right now, as an athlete gets older, the weight room numbers matter less. It's more about a feel type thing, and I'll go into this on definitely on a different episode. But in general, before I go off on that rabbit hole too far, don't talk about it, be about it. Real simple. Right now, wherever you're driving, be like, okay, I'm hitting the gym today or tomorrow morning, and if you haven't been doing things properly, then find someone to help you out. You can go on YouTube and find a workout program. It's not that difficult. You need to test and trial things out, what work for you, whether you're an athlete or not. Stop talking about it and just go be about it. And then you're like, hey, you know what? That style of lifting doesn't work for me. Cool, don't do it. At least you know now and you can actually talk about it, right? Too many times, and I'll have conversations with other coaches, with teachers, with colleagues, and they're talking to me about like what they think the weight room is and how it applies to life or to sports. I'm like, oh, cool. Do you train? No. Do you train athletes? No. What do you do? Okay. continue using whatever level of fitness you need to do, whether you're an athlete or not. But like I said, sometimes you just got to go freaking do it, and you got to start doing it every day. And then you can start to, whether you're a coach or you're not a coach, then you can start to like voice an opinion on these things. And that's to yourself too. It's like, hey, this really does work for me, but you have the evidence to prove that. Stay up to date with current events, and don't just live in your world, because too many times you're like, well, my kid did this, or my nephew or niece, they did this. Yeah? Why do you think that applies to you? Stay up to date with sports, stay up to date with injuries, and stay up to date with like how you should be using the weight room for you, both athletically and not. I'm going to always probably end every podcast with this. You need to stay consistent with whatever it is. In my world, that's training. I have to train every day because it makes all my habits better. It makes me feel better. And you should understand that in the world of strength and conditioning, you have no choice. You have got to continue to train and train properly, or else you start to dip down. And the structure and the strictness of that workout plan will slowly get more structured and specific as you get older, but like, you got to be consistent. You can't just take a week off. No, not nowadays. Not if you want to be a successful athlete or successful in anything. Like, you don't get to just take a week off. Like, it does not matter if you're on vacation. You got to continue speed training. You got to continue strength training. I'm gonna cut this one here today. First episode, I tried not to be so serious. There's rant number 1. Don't talk about it, be about it. And at the end of the day, I know nothing.